absolutely perfect.
Can feel the skin, so what I do is just press it down. Wow, it's beautiful. Wow. Không trời ạ. It's super crispy. Hi, it's Sarah from New Malaysian Kitchen. Welcome to my kitchen in Kuala Lumpur. I'd like to know where you're watching this video from. Let me know at the comment box below. Today my friend Nigel is going to teach me how to make super crunchy Siu Yuk.
Hey!
Hey Nigel! Good!
How are you?
Thank you for coming!
How are you, Sarah's viewers? And guess what I brought? Centered cut pork belly.
Centered cut?
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is very simple actually. Basically, it's a little bit more even. If you have it right round to the ends, you could get thick and thin. So this is pretty much the center cut. It's really nice and even. You've got nice layers of meat and fat. So yeah.
How heavy is this?
This is about 2 kilos, 2.2, I guess. Yeah.
Alright.
And that's about right. And don't worry if you don't get it exactly spot on 2 kilos. It's not like baking. A little bit extra isn't going to hurt. Again,
yes, let's.
I usually wear an apron. The only way I can ever have abs is if I wear them. So, my name is Nigel. And I have been baking for a living for about 20 years. But then I decided to start my YouTube channel called Nigel's Choice.
I saw Nigel's channel and he was making this super crunchy Siu. I can hear the crunch at the end. I'm like, Nigel, you gotta teach me this. And so we are here today to make this together.
Absolutely, and I believe that food is about community and love, and I love doing this with you, Sarah. You are such a wonderful person. I love your videos. So everyone, please hit subscribe, like, and share.
Thank you, Nigel. Let's start. Okay, so what we need is shaoxing wine, salt, white pepper, Chinese 5-spice powder, nam yu, and garlic.
Garlic, correct.
Okay.
We begin with making the marinade. So let's grab about 5 pieces of the stinky tofu.
So we need 5 pieces of the stinky tofu.
Remember, this is only a guideline, okay? Sort of smells like sweet sauce or hoisin sauce.
Yes.
But it's actually fermented tofu and it's got a little chili in it. That's why it's red.
And I use this to make Hakka pork belly.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Actually, I've also got a great recipe for lam yu fried chicken. Amazing. The lam yu actually gives it that sort of umami-ness after you cook. After you roast this, it really heightens the flavor of the pork, but adds a little sweetness to it. Basically, it's sort of sitting in this syrupy red sauce. Next, we need about 2 teaspoons, I think, of the Chinese 5-spice.
2 teaspoons.
You know what? It's one of those recipes where if you don't get it exactly right, it's also okay.
Nigel has been making this for 10 years.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
I think about 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You don't want too much because you're going to put salt on the skin.
So you mean there's more 5-spice powder than salt?
Yes.
Oh, just one.
I happen to like the taste of 5-spice powder, so I did up it a bit. And to be honest, this particular recipe, I understand, is not the Cantonese style of Chinese roast pork. It's, I believe, the Hokkien style. We have
white pepper. This is whole. And we also have the ground pepper. What shall we do?
To be honest, I prefer the whole one and then we pound it. If you smell them after you pound and you just smell the pre-prepared ones, you get this really floral taste from the freshly ground peppers, whereas the prepared ones tend to smell a little musty to me.
We've got pestle and mortar here.
About 1 teaspoon of peppercorns. About 1 teaspoon. If you like more, please, by all means. Yep.
Grind the pepper.
It doesn't have to be totally fine, but it needs a bit of fineness. Probably like beach sand.
Beach sand.
Yeah, so that's good. That's perfect.
Doesn't have to be even.
Yep.
So it should look like this.
Yeah. Cooking is about feel. Baking, I've come to find in the last
Put it
20 years
in.
of baking cakes, is about precision and chemistry.
Nigel runs a cafe at Bangsa.
I own Just Heavenly, but more recently I decided to do this YouTube channel because Nigel's joys really, I think we need to find more joys in the world now, at this point in time especially. If you don't have Xiaoxing wine, you can use sherry. I've used Martini Rosso as well, red martini to great benefit. Vermouth. You know what? I go by feel as well. So when we mash it up, as long as it's pasty enough, it's good.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna mash it up.
Yeah, it's looking really good. What I would be doing now is giving it a good sniff.
How's it? So fragrant. So we're done with the marinade. What shall we do next?
Well, next we have to flip the meat over. Use a small knife.
Oh, not yet.
No, yeah, we do the garlic first.
Okay.
Make holes about 2 inches apart. Cut it in half or even quarters. So, like if it was like this, okay, you just want to get that in there. Just stuff it in there. Make sure you like
Stuff it in. Why do we need to put garlic?
the garlic sort of stews inside the meat and it just absorbs that great nutty sweetness from the garlic.
We put them all in. Next, we're going to put the marinade.
Just give it a good smear. Just lay it on and just
simply
whack it there.
just whack it.
You want it a little bit going up the sides as well. Do try and get the garlic pushed in.
Okay.
I think it just rests a lot more easily.
Why do you want the garlic in again?
So that it rests flat. Now
Okay.
what we need to do is flip it over and pat it dry, which is...
The first secret!
Yes!
So we've got the first secret to making super crispy pork belly. The number one secret is pat it dry. Now we're gonna turn it over to dry the skin. Paper towels.
And just take one, okay? Keep it as thin as possible. I find that it absorbs better when it's thin. And then just press. Actually,
Okay.
the next secret is sort of incorporated into this one. You can feel a bit of dampness, can't you? Yeah. So what you want to do is just make sure you pull and you don't want bits of paper on.
Okay. Make sure that when you pat it dry, it would look like this.
It's literally dry to the touch. It's absolutely dry.
I'm gonna reveal secret number 2. What is that?
Ta-da!
It's the fan.
Basically, you have the fan blowing on this for the entire time. So we've actually put this in the fridge overnight, open to the elements to dry. We've actually switched it onto a grill as well. This is to put it in the oven. You don't want it to be sitting on a tray and then it will stew in its own juices. So you want it to be hanging on top like this. So there's a little bit of air flow underneath.
Okay. What does the fan do for us?
Basically, it dries the skin. So what you want to do is to get a really, really dry skin before you even begin roasting. I mean, if I do this, you know, you can almost, you don't even see the scratch marks in it. It's already so leathery and dry.
How many hours do we need to fan it?
Okay, I've actually put this into the fridge overnight open, so the drier air in the fridge already dried this a little bit. Okay, I've wanted to leave this out here for another couple of hours. Yeah, but use your discretion. I mean, just feel it.
Okay.
You need to feel the meat up.
Okay. So you can put it in the fridge overnight and then use the fan to dry it even more. Or if you only use the fan, it's okay as well, but you need to take a longer time.
Yes, correct.
But what's important is at the end, the texture should be like this. It should be super dry, and when you scratch it, you can hear the sound.
Yeah, you can hear the sound and it feels like a leather wallet.
What I get is that we need to put it on a tray so that it will also be dry underneath.
But more than anything, you want to roast it, you don't want to stew it. So if you don't put it on a tray and it's sitting there, it will stew the bottom.
And we'll need the fan to be blowing directly here for how long?
A couple of hours.
Is it okay if I don't leave it overnight in the fridge?
You can, but then you'd have to dry it for longer.
Okay.
And I find that if you just don't do it overnight in the fridge, it's not as dry as this. I mean, if I do this, you practically you don't see any marks on it at all.
Okay, no marks.
And you can almost hear that sort of scrape on the blackboard.
What we're going to use this for?
We are going to use these to keep the meat flat. Now, I don't cut up my meat, so these are really good for keeping the meat flat. Okay, so this just basically keeps it in check.
Okay.
All right, and there should be that's.
What if I don't have this?
If you don't have this, satay sticks, bamboo skewers, that's fine too.
Okay.
Otherwise, what will happen is they'll buckle too much, and then you'll have sort of like ripples and folds in the skin, and it won't bubble as much in those areas.
Okay.
I'm going to make this as long as possible, so I'm going to fold it diagonally. Of course, you're not going to be able to get it totally tight. This is a way of just keeping the salt on top of the rind, the skin.
This is the third secret, salt.
Third secret, coarse salt. Not too coarse, not rock, but coarse. Now you need to have about a half cm or so of salt on top. So it's actually a generous portion of salt. And this is what brings out the moisture of the meat, all the excess moisture, as well as flavoring the meat. So make sure that it doesn't get to the sides as much as possible. Always preheat your oven. I'm putting it to about 180 or 190 degrees to preheat. Once you put the piece of meat in for the first roast, turn it down to about 170, 175.
So we need to put water into the tray. You can see the water steaming inside. That is to make sure that the pork belly is not too dry.
I turned the oven temperature back down to 175. This stays in there for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
When it comes out, the salt should have caked up.
So is this another secret, the temperature?
Number 4 is the temperature. So what we're doing with this first 175 degrees is really to roast the meat. With the next temperature increase, that basically crackles the meat. So keep watching.
We're going to roast it for about 45 minutes to 1 hour. We'll get back to this later.
After 45
We're ready to take it out?
We're ready to take it out.
Okay, let's.
Here it is.
Oh wow, it's steaming.
It's steaming. So some water does gather. I'm also going to take out the water from here. Prepping
Take this out.
Yes.
Take the water out and turn it to max.
Yep.
Alright,
and
next.
what we're going to do is remove this salt. As you can see, it's all really, really dry. And it's also caked up somewhat.
Okay.
See?
So the reason why we put the salt, because we want it to draw out more water from the pork belly, so that the skin will be even drier.
Exactly. Right? And scrape off all the salt from the sides as well, because you don't want it too salty.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me try.
Actually, you can see it bubbling along the sides already. See? Ready? You've got to get it back in the oven. PDQ, or as my grandfather used to say,
immediately.
Pretty damn quick.
Is that another secret?
The secret is, okay, temperature. When you take it out to take the salt off, okay, make sure that you do it really, really quickly.
Okay.
You don't want the pork to drop in temperature too much, otherwise it doesn't crackle. What you want to do when you put it back in is put it near the top as possible.
Okay.
Because
nearer to the top.
Putting it up to the highest temperature so that it will fry the chicken. I'm going to set a timer for 40 to 45 minutes. Basically, the rationale for putting it up to about 180 or 190 is when you open the oven to put the pork in, you always take those precious few 5 seconds or so. That actually contributes to a huge drop in oven temperature. So you always make it a little hotter than you need to, and then turn it back to the temperature you need when you have the door closed.
Wow, it's crackling already.
Yeah.
this so fast. We just
You
put
can
it
hear
in.
it. Can you hear it?
Yes, I can. And we just put it in.
Yeah, because it's
Because
nice
it's
and
dry.
Because it's dry.
Because it's dry, it's so fast. Can you just put it in for a minute and it's already crackling? You can hear the sound.
Because we fridge dried it and then we fan dried it, it popped and crackled even faster. So watch it. This recipe calls for you to be vigilant. You have to basically watch it.
Mommy,
Oh dear.
okay, how does it look like now?
好脆脆口咁嘅樣咯。
Bubble jaw. Now we're ready to take it out. Yeah?
So here's the moment. Oh my gosh. It got a little toasty. So don't worry.
Actually, this is what I see at the professional as well. What they do is that they have something to scrape it off.
That's correct. So we can use this knife to just give it a quick scrape. I'm only going to remove the worst parts.
Can you hear the sound? I went to my favorite roast pork place, and then what I saw is that they use the top of a can, they recycle, and you just scrape it off.
That's absolutely perfect.
Okay.
Let's flip it on its back and then we're going to cut it.
Okay.
And there's a reason why we flip it on its back.
Shall we remove the skewers?
Yes. And the skewers are cool enough to remove. So there we go. Actually, it's kept it quite flat. It looks really good.
Okay, so now we're going to turn it over to slice.
You want to make sure this board is dry before you flip it over.
Maybe that's another secret there. Mommy, what were you saying?
好 juicy。
Oh, juicy.
See? It's such a pleasure and a privilege. Thank you for welcoming me into your home.
My mom is so happy that you're here because she's always wanted to learn how to make crispy Siu Yuk.
Well, now she knows. Yes.
We have to sit this for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to slice it yet because once you slice it, the juice will come out and it will not be juicy anymore. So it's dry on top, it's crackling on top, but at the same time, we want the flesh to be juicy, to be moist. Right?
Juicy and moist, watch words. Basically what happens is the protein strands curl, so it squeezes all the meat juices out of the meat. What you want to do is let it relax for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then the protein strands relax again, so all the juices are redistributed and you get a beautifully juicy piece of roast pork. So I think it's about time.
Shall we?
Shall we?
Let's.
All right. Okay.
I've been waiting for this.
All right, let's bring this over. And here's the trick.
Okay.
Flip it with the skin side down.
Okay.
And it should... Can you hear that?
Wow.
I hear cracking sound.
All right.
Wow.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. Can I try? First, you saw it, and then you press it down, correct?
Yeah.
And then at the end, I can feel the skin, so what I do is just press it down. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, wow, it's beautiful.
Wow. It's nice.
好靚啊。
係喎，深層啊。
Yeah, look at this. Fat, meat, skin.
Okay, here we go.
I've got the skin. Eat the skin. Oh my goodness. Wow.好脆啊。 It's super crispy. It's amazing. 好脆啊。好脆啊。
Okay, I'm going in for the crackling. For all the salt that we used, it's not salty, is it?
It's not
Yeah, yeah, it's not.
And that sort of fermented tofu gives it that great umami flavor, a little bit of sweetness. I think it works really well.
Wow. It's amazing. Your 5 secrets really do work.
I hope so.
I want the skin. I mean the skin.
A little bit on the skin. Wow.
Yeah? Hear this. Don't say anything.
Mm.
Okay, let's slice it all up.
Yes. Awesome.
Oh,
冇腳，冇腳，有 juicy，
I think
有
that's enough.
soft，有脆。It's meat like melt in the mouth and then it's juicy and then it's so crunchy. Wow.
Here you go, more crackle.
Oh. Very good. Wow.
Don't leave yet, we're going for lunch at a popular roast pork stall at Pudu Ulu. Remember to subscribe and let me know what you think of this video. Click the bell icon at the side as well. Here at Siu Yuk, this is our lunch. Ordered Siu Yuk and char siu.
Love that sort of caramelized outside, the exterior of it. So it's a little crunchy and chewy, all at the same time. Oh my god.
Do you want to try some? Remember to watch our next video where we'll be cooking this together. Not just the roast pork, but the rice, the chili sauce, and the soup as well. So, see you in our next video. Still crunchy after a few hours, right? Good try.
Oh.
I can hear
Still
it, can
crunchy.
you?